Hey guys, RW here, Little Mountain. Wanted to show you something I'm testing out on my Axial XR10 platformed rock crawler here. In the past, I have not been really impressed by hot racing. I know some people seem to think they're okay, but at least some of the parts I've bought, I haven't been real impressed by the quality of the metal or the machining. But I took a chance and I bought a hot racing big bearing gearbox for my XR10 rear axle. Just take a good gander at that. A couple things about it I think are kind of hokey. It's got a plastic cover over the gears. I don't like that. I don't need that. I don't need to see my gears. I don't want any plastic. That's why I bought a metal gearbox, so I could get away from plastic. But then they put a plastic plate on there, and you know, all I can think of is that it's going to crack and break, and I'm going to have to make another one, right? Other thing, when I was installing, what I found was that, at least the way I did it, I couldn't get the screw into the bulkhead without turning the head of the screw down. I had to run it on a file. Alrighty then. And that was, you know, like, you buy something brand new, why are you modifying it just to get it to go on? So could be that I was supposed to put the screw on before I put the bearings in, but once I got those bearings in, they wouldn't come out, and that was it. So I was kind of stuck. The other thing that kind of frustrated me was there's two little screws that were supplied, which are to replace the screws that you would normally use for the plastic stock gearbox, and they're a little short. They're just a little bit short, and when I was trying to get one to start to take the threads, it just pulled the threads right out of metal, which confirmed my suspicions that the hot racing aluminum is substandard. I did manage to get one of the screws to sock in, but then it sort of didn't pull it down straight, which made me wonder too, does this really fit the way it's supposed to, which is super important because that's the way your gears mesh. I found a slightly longer screw. I was able to get it up in there. It doesn't conflict with anything inside, and it held the gearbox on. So I just thought that was a little annoying that they would give you screws that are just a tad short, like a half a millimeter. I don't know why. It just seems weird. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to run it for you, at least run the rear end here. And you can hear how quiet it is. It's actually pretty quiet, I think. This camera has pretty good sound, so and that's pretty quiet. Now the whole reason I'm using the hot racing gearbox is because it has bigger bearings in it. And I've been rebuilding this axle like every other week because it blows out the little 2.5, 5x8 flange bearings. Just blows them out. I've even tried the Acer ceramics, and it blows them out. This sounds really good. This is what I was hoping this axle would sound like one day. It's never sounded like this because every time I put it together, after a few batteries, one of the bearings goes. Let me let you hear the front end of it in comparison. This is a totally stock front end here. I don't know if I can do that. I guess I'll have to turn it upside down. Totally stock front end. And stock gear, stock everything, but it has Acer ceramic bearings for the flange bearings, which I was hoping would. Now the front axle has never given me the same trouble the rear axle does. It has blown out bearings. It As a matter of fact, it may need a bearing change now, by the sound of it. See that sound? That's the sound of gears having way too much room. And that's probably because one of the bearings is gone. You can hear how much louder that is than this. I mean, it's not terribly bad, I don't think. I'm still using it. I'm going to work with it. It's a little growly.